might have seen the title to this as How I Protect My Toddler from Perverts. Catchy, I know, but we actually are going to talk about this. It started when I was watching an Instagram story for, oh my god, what's her name? Emily Bozeman. It's Emily Bozeman. She has a blog called Soda Sipping Spinster. She's fabulous. She's a labor and delivery nurse turned stay-at-home mom. I mean, she does still work. I don't know how to like explain that. She works a couple shifts a month or something. I don't know. She's fabulous. I love following her and her babes. They are so cute. She's so stylish. She's amazing. But she brought up this amazing topic and I was like, people don't know about this? How do people not know about this? And I was like, I need to make a video immediately. She was talking about how her and her husband had a conversation before the babies were born. They were always going to talk about their children's genitalia with their proper names. Now, here's a disclaimer. Disclaimer. I'm going to be using correct terms for genitalia. So if you don't like this, skip ahead like a couple minutes and you won't even have to see it. So, I didn't even realize that this was a conversation because I would always do that. But then I remembered some of my kiddos in special ed don't call it that. So a penis is a penis and a vagina is a vagina. I'm sorry. And there's a reason you have to teach your children correct terms. And here's what it's about. You need to protect your children from people who are going to hurt them. And when children use correct terms for their genitalia, it freaks out perverts. It does, because you talk about it with them, you're not afraid to talk about hard topics with those children, and they're more likely to tell you about it. Also, have you ever had someone tell you, my flower hurts? A kid came up to me and said, my flower hurts. And I'm like, I have no clue what your flower is. I've had students say my private area hurts. Well, besides the fact that it's a quick trip to the nurse, my private area encompasses a lot of area. Turns out his butt hurt. Yeah, his butt hurt. He fell on his tushy and he had to go to the nurse and get an ice pack. But it could have been anything else. And then that requires so many more conversations. Well, what part of your private area hurts? Can you tell me what happened? What happened? And for our special ed kiddos, maybe they don't have that much to verbalize about it. But especially with my kiddo, I just knew it would lead to like 15 more questions. In really hard conversations about perverts and pedophiles, you don't want to ask 50 questions. So when your child comes up to you and says, my vagina hurts, and you go, what happened? Oh, I fell. Or that man touched me. It's going to be much more clearer and much more easier to understand. The other part about calling a penis penis and a vagina is it doesn't have any shame around it. And it shouldn't. You wouldn't call an elbow something weird because it's an elbow. That's it. Just because it's a sexual organ does not mean it's always used for sexual things. So when you put a special name on it or a silly name with it, it makes your children think they should be ashamed of that part. No one should be ashamed of their body. Our body does amazing things, so why would we be ashamed of it? And when children have shame around those parts, it's harder to talk about things. We want to make sure we always have clear communication with our children, always. If you hear that rustling, it's my notebook, because I make notes. Yeah. You should always have clear communication with your children. When we're also talking about penises and vaginas, calling them by their proper names in the event that they actually are hurt or touched or need to go to trial, you can't say my private parts. You have to say, he touched my penis. He tried to touch my vagina. You know, like when children use those correct terms, you can actually prosecute. Otherwise, I've heard of cases that have gotten dropped because the kid can't identify what happened. And when we're also talking about penises and vaginas, calling them by their proper names in the event that they actually are hurt or touched or need to go to trial, you can't say my private parts. You have to say, he touched my penis. He tried to touch my vagina. You know, like when children use those correct terms, you can actually prosecute. Otherwise, I've heard of cases that have gotten dropped because the kid can't identify what happened. And when it's a baby's word against an adult, it's really hard. So the more they can use proper terms, the more you can actually get prosecution. I know this is a disgusting thing to think about, but when you use penis and vagina and your kid knows what a penis and what a vagina is, then they're able to actually communicate it, and this helps with prosecution. Okay, enough with this, moving on. So I'm gonna do 5 easy things you can do with your toddler right now that will help protect your children from predators, okay? So number 1 is clear communication, and that means calling a vagina a vagina. A vagina is a vagina. Okay. Number 2, and this is huge, especially in our family. I've talked to grandma and grandpa about this. I've talked to all the grandparents, all the aunts and uncles, and here's the tip. There are no secrets. There are no secrets in our household. You cannot have a secret with my child that does not include me. You can have surprises, but grandma giving an extra cookie is not a secret. It is a surprise. And if my kid tells me about it, my kid tells me about it. You shouldn't be giving the cookie if you feel bad about it. But no, there's no secrets. Pedophiles, perverts, all those people try and create this secret with your child. You cannot have secrets. No secrets in your household. Secrets lead to bad things. You should never have a secret from mom and dad, especially when they're little. When they're teenagers, they'll have secrets without you telling them that, okay? But when they're little babies, they don't need to keep secrets from you, ever. Let's go back to bodies and talk about number 3, body autonomy. Here's an idea. Great Aunt Gertrude is coming to town, and the baby has never met Great Aunt Gertrude, and Great Aunt Gertrude goes, oh, hey baby, come give me a kiss, it's your Great Aunt Gertrude. If the baby doesn't want to give them a kiss, they don't have to give them a kiss. They're in charge of their own bodies. And you say, you know what, Great Aunt Gertrude, can we give a high five? Can we wave instead? Making your children hug and kiss relatives or people that they don't feel comfortable doing makes them feel like they're not in control of their bodies. And our children should always have body autonomy. I've actually heard the story going around as well. It's an extremely great way to teach consent as well as body autonomy. So let's say your kiddo is leaving daycare and wants to kiss their friend goodbye, and their friend said no. That friend has all the right in the world to say no. That's their body. You cannot touch their body if they don't want you to. And now they're upset, right? I want to kiss them goodbye. They're my friend. I love them. Okay, but let's think of another way to say goodbye, because no means no. How about a high five? Ask her if you could give her a high five. No? She doesn't want you to give a high five? Okay, well, no means no. So let's say, can you wave goodbye? Because waving doesn't touch her body, and she doesn't want you to touch her body. Oh, okay. Kiddos understand. You just have to put it in their terms. Just like you don't want them, would you want someone to come up from the mall and say, oh, hi, hug me, I love you? No. You don't know that person. If it was on the subway, it'd be just as creepy if it was Aunt Gertrude and you've never met Aunt Gertrude. Oh, I'm your Aunt Gertrude, give me a hug. No, ma'am, I don't know you. So we really need to trust our babies when they say no to hugs and kisses from family members or friends. There could be a whole other reason behind it. I'm not saying anyone's a pervert. Poor Aunt Gertrude's getting the bad rap here, but babies say no, you need to honor the no, which is our next one, honor no. It seems like my child's favorite word is no right now. And while 100% of the time she does not mean no, we're still teaching yes. But if she says no and means no, I honor the no. If she does not want to wear a long sleeve shirt, she does not want to wear a long sleeve shirt. I give her options until she says okay, or she grabs something and says no, because that obviously means yes. But you have to honor the no. If your kids are a little bit older than toddlers and they know no and yes, and you say, oh look, go with grandma, and they say no, think about why they don't want to go. There's usually a reason behind the no. If it's not their only word, if they have a repertoire of more than no, you have to really think about why they're saying no and have a talk about it. No sometimes means no for a reason. And honoring the no, honoring body autonomy, and teaching consent are amazing tools for our kiddos when they're actually teenagers or in their early 20s. It helps them to trust themselves, it helps them to trust their instincts, and it helps to understand no means no, which apparently needs to be taught in our society. Number 5, identifying emotions and talking about them. Now, this might not directly help with perverts, but it does help our kiddos long term, especially our toddlers. They have huge emotions and they don't 100% understand them. So when our kiddos get angry or mad or upset or sad and they're in those throes, you say, wow, you look emotion, okay? When this happens, you have this emotion. When you identify it and explain it, it helps them to identify and explain things back to you. So, wow, you're upset. You're upset when your little sister takes your toy. I can understand that. It's hard when little sister takes your toy, but you have so many other toys. Oh, you want that toy? Okay, let's ask and see if we can get the toy back. You give them their emotion, you explain why they're feeling this, and then you give different options for how to fix and problem solve for themselves, okay? So this helps them identify emotions, this helps them identify emotions, trust their emotions, and be able to problem solve. So when your kid gets that weird feeling in college from their date, not only can they say, no, I don't want to kiss goodnight from body autonomy, but they can say, I trust this emotion and I'm going to figure out a way to get out of this date. Oh, I have an emergency call. Oh, excuse me, I need to go, bye. These tools you're teaching now and are gonna use the rest of their lives. So these are the 5 tips for teaching your toddler how to protect themselves. If you like this video at all, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up. I do 3 videos a week about being a mom, being a teacher, and general life. If you have anything you want to talk about, please leave a comment below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.